Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Hey wife, did you know that Anchor is sponsoring our show?
Really? Don't we use Anchor to distribute our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts?
Yeah, and we are on just about every other platform available as well, thanks to them.
Why do we use Anchor as our podcasting service?
Well, they make editing and distributing our show a breeze.
What if one of our listeners wants to start their own podcast?
Then they should head over to anchor.fm or download the app to get started.
Awesome! You guys should go do that right now! Husband!
Wife!
Do you remember what happened yesterday?
I remember that some dude tried to steady the ark when the oxen tried to tip it over, and then that God was like,
Nope.
dead. And maybe he punched him in the nuts because he's invisible on the throne? I don't know.
I think that wasn't probably the important part you were supposed to remember.
But that's what I remembered.
That did happen, but the part you're supposed to remember, I think, is that David got all dancy and stuff and was like, I don't mind looking the fool for the Lord.
Right.
And Michael was like, you never look the fool for me.
Right.
And then he was like, you jealous? And she was like, goddamn right I am. So God was like, boom, barren, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good stuff, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. God's such a nice guy.
Mm-hmm. But it didn't sound like David was very appreciative of all that Michael had done for him.
Not even a little bit.
So, fuck God, fuck David, the end.
Right. So that was 2 Samuel chapter
6.
And today we are doing
2 Samuel chapter 7.
All right, let's go read it.
Okie dokie. Okay, well, before I jump in, first, I just want to say we are recording this on the night of July 4th, which is American Independence Day, and there are fireworks going off all around town, so apologies in advance if you hear firecrackers and shit like that in the background. We are not partaking.
And also on a more somber note, there was another mass shooting today.
There was. I did hear that the guy who did done it was captured, or not that he was captured so much as that he turned himself in, so that's great.
Right, and this isn't news, and this is nothing like that we know for sure, but we did see some pictures of him wrapped in Trump flags. So
right.
There's that.
Also, he's like really weird looking, and apparently he's a rapper. I don't know.
Not that has anything to do with anything exactly.
No.
But that in conjunction with the Trump flags could mean a lot of things.
No, none of those things alone is necessarily indicative of anything. It's all together.
Right.
He's a rapper and a Trumper and a white guy and a weird looking motherfucker.
And he likes guns, apparently.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
And
well,
killing people.
We don't know what the motive or anything was, but I think we can all imagine that it was nothing good.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd mention that since, we
right.
did a special on the guns recently.
Yeah,
and,
we did.
It just keeps happening.
And here we are.
Yep.
Okay.
All right, sorry. Now on with the Bible.
Right. God's covenant with David. That seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay. When King David, the dancer, was settled in his palace, and the Lord had given him rest from all the...
Wait, did they call him the dancer?
No.
Oh, you threw that in there.
I threw that in there.
Okay, no, I thought that's a neat way to refer to him, I guess.
Dancing David?
Yeah, Dancing David.
Yeah, when King Dancing David had settled in his palace, and the Lord had given him rest from all the surrounding enemies, not that they had won, the Lord gave him rest.
Right.
The king summoned Nathan the prophet. You know Nathan the prophet, right?
No, I don't.
Well, there's this guy named Nathan, and he's a prophet.
Okay.
And he called him.
Yeah.
Look, David said, I am living in a beautiful cedar palace, but the Ark of God is out there in a tent.
Yeah. Why should I be living in a palace and that thing only gets a tent? it's an inanimate object with important shit on it. So.
Right. I could totally carry it in, but
Right.
I'm not going to. I'm just going to sit in here and bitch on Twitter.
I mean, some dude died on the way here when he touched it, so I don't really want it next to me, but... So am I supposed to leave it out there? Can I bring it in? Should I bring it in?
Yeah, I guess.
Am I going to die? Will you touch it before I touch it?
This is probably more of like a Facebook post than a Twitter post. You're right.
Right.
Nathan replied to the king, "Go ahead and do whatever you have in mind, for the Lord is with you."
No matter what, huh?
I guess.
He's
mean... like, it sounded to me like Nathan the prophet is like, "You do you, boo."
Right.
I'm out. But that same night... the Lord said to Nathan, "Go and tell my servant David, this is what the Lord has declared."
Oh.
"Are you the one to build a house for me to live in? I have never lived in a house from the day I brought the Israelites out of Egypt until this very day."
Wait, hold on. That's not entirely true. They literally said that the tabernacle is the place where the Lord lives.
Mm-hmm. But that's not a house.
Okay, but it's a tent. It's okay.
A tabernacle is not a house.
All right, fair enough.
It's a big tent.
But it... Okay.
It's a fancy tent.
All right.
It's nicer probably than any house we ever lived in, but it's still a tent.
All right, fine.
"I have always moved from one place to another with a tent and a tabernacle as my dwelling."
Okay. Fair enough.
You should have let me finish.
I should have let you finish.
"Yet, no matter where I've gone with the Israelites, I have never once complained to Israel's tribal leaders, the shepherds of my people Israel. I have never asked them, 'Why haven't you built me a beautiful cedar house?'"
That is true. He has never asked that.
He has never asked that. He has smote a lot of motherfuckers, but he has never asked for a house.
Especially a cedar one.
Right.
Yeah.
"Now go and say to my servant David, this is what the Lord of heaven's armies has declared."
So just to be clear, you want to stay in the tent? That's correct?
That's what it sounded like, but he's about to finish his sentence. I don't know. "I took you from tending sheep in the pasture and selected you to be the leader of my people Israel. I have been with you wherever you have gone, and I have destroyed all your enemies before your eyes. Now I will make your name as famous as anyone who has ever lived on the earth, and I will provide a homeland for my people Israel, planting them in a secure place where they will never be disturbed. Evil nations won't oppress them as they've done in the past, starting from the time I appointed judges to rule my people Israel. And I will give you rest from all your enemies." Furthermore...
For how long?
Furthermore...
Okay.
It's not specified.
All right.
"Furthermore, the Lord declares that he will make a house for you, a dynasty of kings. For when you die and are buried with your ancestors, I will raise up one of your descendants." It's Jesus.
No.
Your own offspring, one of your descendants, your own offspring, and I will make his kingdom strong.
Oh, so he doesn't say how many... Like, so this is where the prophecy maybe kind of comes from or something?
This is Nathan's prophecy, yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't specify how many, generations down the road it's going to happen. Just one of his descendants.
Mm-hmm.
So
he is the one who will build a house, a temple, for my name, and I will secure his royal throne forever. I will be his father, and he will be my son.
Oh, wow.
If he sins, I will correct and discipline him with the rod like any father would do. I'm going to beat that motherfucker on a cross.
Right, yeah.
But my favor will not be taken from him as I took it from Saul, whom I removed from your sight. Your house and your kingdom will continue before me for all time, and your throne will be secure forever.
That's a hell of a prophecy.
Right?
Like, that's some strong shit right there.
Well, he's like saying, I don't want a fucking house. One day, one of your descendants is going to build me a whole fucking nation house.
Sounds to me, because I know that there was a lot of, possible prophets back in Jesus' time. Mm-hmm. Sounds to me like this bit in the Bible right here.
Got added
Everyone's
in.
like, well, no. But it sounds like they took this bit and they're like, dude, that sounds like a pretty good deal. I could be the son of God.
Yeah,
I think I'm related to David. Like, dude, I'm gonna go take this shit.
Mary, aren't you related to King David?
Right. Let's make this sound good, guys.
And Mary's like, you know what? I just found out last night. Oops, I got knocked up.
Right. Yeah.
And it wasn't Joseph's.
Yeah. So definitely, if we just make it sound like this is just God.
This is definitely Jesus's.
Right.
This is Jesus.
Yeah.
Totes. Yeah. I did not fuck around.
I'm just saying, this. Obviously, people took this part of the Bible pretty seriously back then.
Nothing else out of it, but yeah, they got that one.
And then it turned into a whole other fucking type of religion, essentially. Mm-hmm. Crazy.
So Nathan went back to David and told him everything the Lord had said in this vision. So King David's like, I don't give a shit about all that Jesus-y future stuff. I just wanted to know if I should build him a house.
Right? Yeah.
Cool. Then King David went in and sat before the Lord and prayed, Who am I, O sovereign Lord? And what is my family that you have brought me this far? And now, sovereign Lord, in addition to everything else, you speak of giving your servant a lasting dynasty? Do you deal with everyone this way, O sovereign Lord?
No.
No, he doesn't. Did you see all the smiting he did? What more can I say to you? God, you know what your servant is really like, sovereign Lord. Because of your promise and according to your will, you have done all these great things and have made them known to your servant. How great are you? You are. How great you are.
How great you are. Yeah.
How great you are. O sovereign Lord.
Sovereign Lord. He's saying that a lot.
Sovereign Lord.
Sovereign Lord.
There is no one like you. We have never even heard of another God like you. I call bullshit on that one.
Yeah.
What other nation on earth is like your people Israel? What other nation, O God, have you redeemed from slavery to be your own people? You made a great name for yourself when you redeemed your people from Egypt. I mean, did he though?
I don't know. They didn't really indicate that they thought that very much. And even still, I think there's still some wishy-washiness going on.
There's a lot of wishy-washy.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. You performed, this is David still talking to God.
Yeah, okay.
You performed awesome miracles and drove out the nations and gods that stood in their way.
Wait, are these miracles like the ones where he goes before them and kills the armies when he doesn't actually go before them and kill the armies?
Well, that, and he also, parted the sea. And,
okay.
You know, he made Moses have water out of a stone.
All right, and manna and all that kind of crap.
Manna and shit.
Sure.
You made Israel your very own people forever, and you, O Lord, became their God.
Do you remember when he was ready to give them up, nothing?
Yeah.
He was like, you guys kind of suck.
And Moses was like, wait.
Yeah, Moses begged him to keep them.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think these people suck.
Because they did.
Yeah.
Let's be clear.
I'm just saying, he's giving them an awful lot of praise here, but he was ready to ditch them.
And David didn't know. David wasn't there.
I guess, but, it's in the book of,
Well, we
whatever.
have the luxury of reading back
Moses.
over this. No, it wasn't the book of Moses, just the first 5 books, right?
Right,
so this
but Moses,
shit hasn't been written down
But Moses,
yet.
right, but technically, the book of Moses was already written, because it was by the tabernacle.
So he could have...
And Moses did talk to God and try to keep him from smiting all of Israel and leading them.
Right, but the book of instruction is inside the ark.
Right,
It's
but don't you
not
think that oral histories would be handed down?
It's not like David got to read all the juicy bits that we get to read now.
Well, okay.
I'm just saying.
All right.
And now, continued David to God, O Lord God, I am your servant. Do as you have promised concerning me and my family. Confirm it as a promise that will last forever. Confirm it. I mean, if God tells you something, don't you just be like, cool.
I mean, I don't know. He changes his mind an awful lot. I might want a little bit more.
Are you going to challenge this motherfucker that smites people willy-nilly? Or are you just going to be like, sure, okay, yeah.
I mean, David seems to be in pretty good standing with God.
He has nice hair.
According to what they're saying. So.
He has nice hair.
Yeah, well.
David with the good hair and the dancy feet.
I didn't think he was one of the good ones with good hair.
They all have good hair.
Well, but I thought specifically it was Saul and Samuel.
It was Samuel with the good hair and David with the dancing feet.
Okay.
Anyway, David continues, and may your name be honored forever so that everyone will say, the Lord of heaven's armies is God over Israel.
Yeah.
And may the house of your servant David continue before you forever. O Lord of heaven's... This is a long-ass prayer. O Lord of heaven's armies, God of Israel, I have been bold enough to pray this prayer to you because you have revealed all this to your servant, saying, I will build a house for you, a dynasty of kings.
Technically, wasn't he told this by Nathan the prophet?
Uh-huh.
So, he heard this prophecy secondhand from somebody else who, as far as we know, could just be blowing smoke up this dude's ass.
Yeah, has never been mentioned before.
I'm just saying,
right.
Why do they trust these other people that are prophets?
Well, if somebody is dubbed a prophet, I'm going to assume that they did other prophetizing things that made them have that name.
But do you think that no prophet ever abused their position?
Oh, I'm sure they did. But as long as they were still on the side of God and their prophecies came true, then, they were deemed good.
Right, but, you got a new king, right? Mm-hmm. And he's like,
Tell me what's up. Tell me the news.
And he's like killing people that are doing things he doesn't want them to do. Wouldn't you be like, I'm going to tell this guy some really good shit about himself. Because he might like that.
And then he might not kill me.
He might not kill me. And he might think highly of me after this. Yeah.
And so David is like, I like what I hear. I'm going to go pray goodness. Yay, thanks.
And there's also no way you can prove this prophecy wrong because it's down the line,
Exactly.
Whatever. I don't have to worry about it.
Exactly. So David is down on his knees saying, that thing that I heard from that dude Nathan?
Yeah.
This is cool. Thank you,
right,
man.
Yeah.
For you are God, O sovereign Lord.
Yeah.
You are God.
Right.
Your words are truth, and you have promised these good things to your servant. And now, may it please you to bless the house of your servant, so that it may continue forever before you. For you have spoken, and when you grant a blessing to your servant, O sovereign Lord, it is an eternal blessing. The end.
But God never actually spoke to him.
Right.
He spoke to Nathan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe he'll speak to him in the next chapter, but technically he never actually spoke to David about this whole thing.
But David believes Nathan because
Right, I get it. But this is a big deal, man. Like, you're not going to just, like...
Well, he's not going to be like Saul and go visit the fucking Witch of Endor.
Right.
He's believing in what he thinks is God's person.
All right, fine.
I mean, it's not like he's just believing some bitch off the street,
Right, I mean, it's an actual quote-unquote prophet. So
right,
whatever,
it's somebody who is believed to be a godly person who speaks of God.
Right.
So,
just,
it's not like his brother came and told him this and...
It's true.
It's out of the blue.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. So...
I mean, now you're putting me in the position of fucking defending a goddamn prophet. Really?
No,
Thanks for that.
I just don't know that I would trust a secondhand message, even if it was a prophet. That's all.
Okay, but you are not in the position to ever believe a prophet ever anyway.
Well, that's true. That's very true.
Like, this guy is back then where if somebody is deemed a prophet, they are to be trusted.
I suppose you could look at it like a weatherman, right?
Right.
Like a weatherman is going to be right a lot of the time, but not all the time.
Yeah.
So but enough that you trust that if he says it's going to rain tomorrow, it might rain tomorrow.
And if he says that a tornado is coming and they set off the fucking alarm,
right? You're going to go down to the basement, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. We'll look at the prophets as weathermen then, I guess.
Like maybe 1,000 years from now, people will be like, "How the fuck did those people trust weathermen? That makes no damn sense."
Yeah.
It's like they treated them like prophets or something. See what I'm saying?
Right. All right. Well, that was 2 Samuel chapter 7.
Yes.
And tomorrow we will be doing
2 Samuel chapter 8.
All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegiousdiscourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe. Leave an Apple review. Join us on Twitter. Support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.